Welcome back to the Cage Cast. On this episode, we have a new guest and our first British guest, Mr. Oh That's So James. How are you doing, man?
Wagwan Pivoting, how you going?
Gotta go full British on it, right?
I gotta put it in. I gotta put it in. I've been planning all
First
day.
thing, we've got to talk. How many of the classic British sayings are actually true? Like everyone in the U.S. still goes, pip pip cheerio. Top of the morning is Irish. What am I doing?
Hip hip cheerio, I've never heard that once.
Never.
Never.
Are there any other stereotypical ones that you're like, yeah, that people say that?
Oh, not off the top of my head. But you
Bloody.
but you would say bloody all the time. I say bloody all the time. Oh, bloody good show, mate.
Bloody good show. I actually listen to a decent amount of UK artists, and one of them that I love JME and Stormzy.
Yeah.
But Stormzy has one song and one line specifically I despise. It's his what's that song? It's fuck. I'm trying to think of it.
Come on, Cage, don't let me down.
I know it. If I heard it, whatever. He said and he says in the song, well, but because of where he's from, it's pronounced well. I hate
from,
that.
Like, East London.
I hate that so much. It's just like how hard is it to say well with the L?
I don't know what song it could be because you could say that in any song.
How hard is that? There's
I was listening to a bit of Stormzy today, actually.
And water bottle.
Water ball. Metal.
Water bottle. Metal.
British, innit?
Aluminium.
Yeah, aluminium.
Are there any American stereotypes that you have questions for?
I mean, there's just guns and obesity. That's the only ones I know of. Really.
That's life, yeah. You just explain me and my family. That's cool. Yeah, thanks, James. Attacking me on my own podcast. It's fine. No, you're cool. You're cool. Let's talk Twitch because admittedly, I feel bad, but I actually haven't watched too much of your streams. I've watched the past four. I've watched the past 4 or 5.
4's good.
And you seem to have a really not a high energy, but chill to high energy where you're just always talking, always going for it, but you're super relaxed at the same time. You seem very comfortable on stream.
I try to go for both. I want to be funny, but I want to be chill as well. But I think the comfortability comes from the whole. I've been doing this stuff for 10 years, man. Not streaming, but content creating. I've got an acting background. It just comes natural to me.
Look at you.
I know, I'm a triple threat.
What type of acting? Theater? Classical?
Yeah, so I started in musical theatre when I was 12. And
you're one of those kids.
Yeah, I wasn't a theatre kid. I wasn't one of them.
There really is a difference.
I've worked with theatre kids. God, they're the worst. But yeah, I'm 25 in 2 weeks, so I've been doing this nearly 13 years. Is that? No,
God, boomer.
Not maths. Is that maths? Yeah, 13 years. Damn. But
maths.
I haven't done any theatre since I was 18, but the skills have been there. You learn a lot.
Do you think it helped when it came to thinking on the fly, staying on your feet?
For sure. Even now, I still want to get better at improv and just comedy, but it's definitely helped for sure.
I want to actually do an improv class just to get better, just to be a little quicker on my feet because the family and the friends that I have, you have to be very quick-witted and just on top of it at all times. We got into a lot of roast-offs growing up, so you had to think very quickly on how to say something mean and funny, but also didn't ruin your friendship.
I'm the same. At my current job as well, everyone is so full of banter. They're so quick, and then there's just me thinking oh god, well I never know what to say. I'm really bad at work. On stream, I'm fine. I'm with my mates, I'm good, but at work, I'm terrible. But
when I was at work, I actually worked at McDonald's, and for the longest, me and my friends, we would have like roasting sessions out of nowhere because we got bored. You get bored making cheeseburgers, you know.
I bet.
So we just start making fun of each other, and there were some. I have kind of an opposite issue as you do because I'll think of something horrible and it'll come out before I can stop, and it's just like,
I mean, I've been there.
probably
I've got
should
like
have said that.
a special group of people that I'm like that with at work anyway. But then now that there's this whole COVID thing, my group has sort of expanded. So with them, I'm sort of like know my limits, but also there's some characters, you know, there's some characters that always take the spotlight that you can't really get in front of. Yeah.
So everyone that I've talked to and I'm friends with, you see them all on stream, and you know everyone sees them the same way, like, oh, streamer, or even like Frag with haha funny man do funny thing. But every one of us has like a whole different life outside of the internet, and like most of us will have like an actual like adult job and normal stresses that hit us. Like Peng, not sure how familiar you are with Mr. Peng.
No, I don't really know.
He's in IT.
Right.
Frag, he's actually in IT as well, but he's IT for McDonald's.
Yeah.
I'm in construction, so everyone has their own thing. What did you have a job before COVID, or were you one of the lucky ones who had a essential job?
A bit of both. So
both?
I work at an airport.
Okay.
So that is like an essential job because you're catering for passengers and cargo and stuff like that. But they didn't need me, so I was furloughed up from March until August. So middle of August I went back. I've been back since then. But
okay.
Yeah. That's how it's been, really. It's bad at the airport, man.
Oh, it's bad.
Yeah. Like just job wise. We've lost so many people.
I know my buddy Sawyer, who was also on the podcast, he worked with animals, and he worked at a zoo / like wildlife preservation type thing, and COVID actually completely destroyed his job, and everyone got fucked over on that.
Yeah.
A part of COVID hit. That was the final blow, but the large majority of it was Carol Baskin and PETA actually got their zoo taken down. So
really,
it was not a fun time for him.
Yeah, I mean Carol Baskin, that's like the start of lockdown stuff.
Yeah, it was all right then, and then he just got smacked, and now he's just been at home streaming, living his best life. You know.
I mean, yeah, I've always said if I get made redundant, because I've got a feeling that this isn't over at all. I think after winter, I might be showing the door. But if then, I think I'm just gonna, get to streaming. Yeah. Carry on producing content full time.
There's a lot of people that really feel like, oh, as soon as 2021 happens, it's all gonna be over. I don't think that.
No, it's going on for a while.
It's gonna be a minute.
It will.
Now I've got a question.
Oh yeah.
We talked about it slightly before the podcast, but every follow, when someone follows you, you ask the same question.
I do.
And how do you put it? Like,
I'd say, what's your Subway order in? Full cheese toasted? It better be. What about you? Are you cheese toasted?
Yes, obviously.
You gotta be. You gotta be.
Now, what's your order?
My order. It's a bit different. I mean, I don't know if you got it in America, because I know different Subways in different countries have different ways of doing things. But I go for the Italian BMT. Don't know if you have that, which is on
BMT.
Yeah, so it doesn't stand for anything. I think it stands for a big meaty something, like big meaty thing, which is a horrible name. Probably a big meat trio, yeah. But either way, horrible name. But it's like salami, pepperoni, and ham, I think.
So I got it right.
Yeah, pretty much.
Let's go.
I have that on like herbs and cheese or hearty Italian. Cheese toasted, of course. And then for a bit of salad, we go for lettuce, cucumber, red onion, and sweet corn, and sometimes a bit of
Sweet
jalapenos.
corn?
Oh yeah, you guys call it corn.
Wait, you put corn on your subs?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, do you not?
No.
Yeah,
That's so weird.
A bit of corn and a bit of sweet
And
chili
you thought
sauce.
olive oil was weird?
Okay, like olive oil in a Subway. That's no. I mean, come on. You fry stuff with olive oil.
No,
You don't.
it's olive oil and vinegar. You put them together and it gets like a really nice flavor.
I believe you. I like the taste of both, but I just
It's very nice.
it's not an option. That's all.
Do you put pickles?
I love pickles.
Mm.
I love them. I don't have them on Subway, but McDonald's, all that. I got some pickles downstairs. Every time I make a toasty or grilled cheese, as you guys call it, I'll put pickles inside it. I love them.
That actually sounds pretty good.
Oh, it's so good. Bit of cream cheese, your meat, your cheese, more cheese, pickle. Perfect.
My buddy makes what he calls the ultimate grilled cheese, where it's a grilled cheese but you put a ton of bacon in between it.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I mean, your bacon's different to our bacon, but it sounds good.
So my Subway order is, I don't remember what it was exactly. I'm pretty sure it's just like the club, where it's just the
you put it in my chat.
Mm-hmm. It was just the club. It comes with, I'm pretty sure, turkey or chicken, whichever one you choose. Right. I pretty much just go for turkey just because I prefer the taste.
I'm not a fan of turkey.
It really depends on where it's from.
Mm-hmm.
Some places have turkey and it's so dry.
Yeah, we'll get on to turkey. The turkey conversation. We'll get on.
All right, but I get like turkey slices, then bacon, American cheese, because I don't think a lot of the Subway workers know how to handle other types of cheese. It's just I just don't trust them. It's so easy. It's just the easiest like base level cheese there is. The other ones you have to like. I'm pretty sure one of the cheeses they have to make sure it's tempered, and then the other one they have to make sure it's refrigerated. I don't trust them to actually pay attention to their job, so I just give them the easiest cheese possible. Then you get it toasted.
Of course, you have to.
Then when it's done, lettuce, pickles. I get when I say light mayonnaise, I'm not talking about mayonnaise versus light mayonnaise. I'm talking about regular mayonnaise, but not a lot, like a little.
Okay.
A little honey mustard just for a little kick, and then olive oil and vinegar. And
it's just olive oil and vinegar. I don't understand. It's like
you've got to try it.
I mean, I would if I could, but I can't. So.
TwitchCon 2021. I'll get you one.
Oh, bro, I'll see you there.
We'll fly you out. It's fine.
Great. I can't wait.
But Subway has some weird food because my mom worked at Subway when I was growing up, and there were times I was young enough where I didn't actually go to school. I just went with her for her shift, and then we went home. And like, did you know they have like normal breakfast food in the morning?
Really? Well, what's normal breakfast food though? We've got like a
baseline standard stuff, like they'll serve bacon, eggs, and sausage patties.
Okay.
And sausage is weird.
Sausage is weird. Mm-hmm. It is
in
weird.
general, but Subway sausage at 6 a.m. it hits weird, man. It's not an enjoyable time.
Have you ever had chicken sausage?
Yes.
I actually really like chicken sausage.
I do.
The first time I had it, I was in Florida. It's the first time I had chicken sausage. It was in a breakfast burrito. Oh, it was one of the best things I've ever had. But that chicken sausage. I think it was one of Guy Fieri's things.
Oh, one of his like diners, drive-ins, and dive places.
Pretty much. Yeah. Pretty much.
How often do you come to the States? Because I actually know a few people who, obviously COVID is a thing now, but I know a decent amount of people who are in different countries who like travel to Florida a lot because of beaches and beach houses and all that type of stuff.
My dad used to work out there. He used to work for Disney.
Okay.
Well, Disney World, Epcot. Mm-hmm. So I used to go there quite a lot as a kid. I think 2006 was the last time I flew over there. And then it wasn't until October 2019. That's when we flew to Florida again. And then me and my girlfriend, we went. It was our first holiday away. We went to New York in January this year, just before everything all shut down. Like 2 weeks before. If we went 2 weeks later, then everything would have shut down. We would have been like fucked.
Yeah.
But yeah,
me and my buddy drove 10 hours to Manhattan in like November of last year, and it was New York's different, man.
Is it?
It's different because people will
America,
go to
America is so weird. It's so different to any other country. But then I kind of get the idea that New York is in its own bubble compared to like the rest, especially like the Midwest and all that sort of stuff.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing I've had conversations with like my friends who are Swedish and Swiss. It's hard to wrap your head around until you like see it, or unless you just get it, unlike a lot of people. But like all of Europe could be fit in the US like 3 or 4 times over.
It's crazy.
So like as much as you're like, obviously England has its own little subsections. Like the US is way worse. Like every state is different, and then every city is different. Like New York City is very different from the rest of New York.
Yeah.
Because New York's actually a large state, and New York City is just a small section. New York City is touristy, bunch of big cities. It's fun. But like the capital, Albany, it's very dead. Like there's like farmland out there, man.
Yeah, man, I bet. I was went to Canada like in 2005. We crossed the border, went to Buffalo, New York. Only there for like a couple of hours. Went to a Hard Rock Cafe, and that was it. But still, very different to like New York City.
Yeah, and a lot of people I know who like travel, they'll either go to Florida because of Miami, Orlando, all that.
Yeah.
Or they'll go to New York. Those places, like, yeah, I live in Florida. This place does not represent the rest of the country. Like,
Florida could be its own country. It's the Australia of the US.
It really is, and it doesn't help that if you actually look at the map, Florida just is like the US's penis, just hanging off, just kind of dangling there. And it's just like where I live. If you want, it's actually fairly accurate. I've looked. If you want to know where I live, I'm about mid-shaft. Like,
ooh,
right about in there.
Like Tampa.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Nice.
Look at you being I have some geology major. Look at me. I'm struggling.
I'm a Bolts. Well, Bolts is like my second team.
Tampa Bay Lightning. Hockey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My main team is Toronto Maple Leafs, but I like the Lightning. Like the Lightning Bolts. They're a good team. Well, they weren't that great this season, but they were good.
Yeah. I listened to. Do you know Bill Burr? He's a stand-up comic.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of his stuff, but I know of him.
He has a podcast he's been doing since like 2007, and it's called the Monday Morning Podcast. And he really loves sports, and one of his favorites is hockey because he grew up playing it because he lived up in like Boston, and he's been doing the podcast so long. He was talking about the Tampa Bay Lightning, like when they were being created,
right?
And he was just like, he was upset for so many episodes because he's like, how in the fuck is a team who's playing hockey in the middle of Florida kicking all these people's asses? He's like, they have no reason to be this good at hockey, none.
Well, it's all just like Europeans now, isn't it? Really, you got a couple of Canadians, a couple of Americans, and then everyone's just from like Sweden, like everywhere in Scandinavia and Russia.
And they're like bred for hockey.
Oh yeah, for sure. We get it in the UK as well. Like a lot of our players are either, there's a few British players, but most of them are either Canada, ex-NHL, or just Scandinavian, really. But yeah, still great to watch. It's my favorite sport.
I like going to see hockey live because it happens more often than people think, but not often enough where it's like an event. but whenever there's fights,
Oh, I love
it's
Yeah.
so good. Dudes get just slapped against the glass and just start punching each other. You're like, what is happening? Like the first time it happens.
I remember, because I used to watch hockey for a few years, and then I took my girlfriend to our first like hockey match. It was just like in Cardiff in Wales,
Hmm.
so she's never seen any games. And then the first game we go to, a massive fight breaks out. I think it was like in the first minute, literally the first minute, this massive fight breaks out, and she was so scared. And I was like, "Nah, babe, that's just what happens. This is hockey." Yep. And she was like, "Okay, cool."
My mom scared me when I was little because she loves hockey, and I was like, "Why?" Because I was just too young and I never watched it. And she, out of all the answers she could have gave, she said, "It's so much fun because whenever they get into their fights, it's so cold on the ice that the blood freezes and bounces on the ice." Yeah. Like, that's a little creepy. That's your reason it's your favorite sport.
It's kind of creepy. But I mean, what other sport do you get to go see where there's blood and it's loud?
MMA.
Okay, yeah, true, but one that's like one that's not really fighting.
Rugby.
Rugby's not fighting.
No, but I have seen some dudes get smacked up.
Oh, it's great. I used to play rugby as a kid.
One of my favorite things is there's a lot of, like, with the whole reaction boom on YouTube. There's actually like subsections to it where like metalhead listens to pop music or stuff like that.
I've seen this. Yeah.
They get people who are in different sports and they watch other sports highlights, and there's one or two where they get rugby stars who they always talk shit about American football and saying, "Oh, they gotta wear pads. They're pussies. They can't take those good hits." And then they watch how some of these guys get hit, and they're just stunned, and they're like, "Oh my god!"
I've seen videos of rugby players playing American football. They're shocked because of the actual like intensity of the tackles and the sounds as well. Like you hear the helmets colliding. Oh,
yeah,
that is a concussion.
There's times where you can get hit so hard in your chest that the helmet pops off.
It's mental. I've been watching American football for since I was 14. It's nearly 10 years now. And I love it. I go to when it plays in Wembley in the UK. We go pretty much every year, but I love it. I love it so much.
It's so different because I've definitely noticed a lot of people outside of the U.S. see it in one way where they're like, that's not football. What you call soccer is football. And then they actually see it and they're like, oh, this is intense as shit.
Yeah, it is. It's like a massive game of chess.
These guys get beaten.
And
there was one dude years ago. There's a team called the Steelers. I'm not sure how.
Pittsburgh, yeah.
Yeah, look at you being smart.
I've been following it since I was 14. I know what's going on.
So, Jerome Bettis, he was, I think it was linebacker. He was definitely way too big to be a linebacker, but he was because he was weirdly fast on his feet. And they called him the Bus. And the reason being is because anytime he hit someone, they got a concussion that was equivalent to actually getting hit by a bus. And there's if you look up his highlight reels, seeing him now, nowadays he'll pop up on ESPN and just do some training camp things and talk, and you're like, oh, that's him, that's cool. But until you see his highlight reel where people are charging at him and he is going twice the speed at twice the size, lays them out flat, and he's still going, it's insane to see this man work. And there's him, I think one time he had 5 or 6 people on top of him and he was still running. There's another dude, Marshawn Lynch, whose nickname was Beast Mode. Yeah. That dude was insane. Just knocking dudes over. I don't know if he's still playing. I think he stopped playing. I'm not sure.
I think he stopped last season. Yeah.
And then there's the whole switch up because of COVID with Tom Brady now in Tampa and Cam Newton now up in New England.
Yeah.
So that's different.
I think, Patriots, that's who I follow. I'm a Patriots fan.
Oh,
But
so you follow the cheaters? I see.
I mean, you can talk about Deflategate all you want, but I mean, come on. Yeah,
No, I don't. I just don't care. My family's huge into football. I follow it enough to know, like, enough, but I really don't care.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I think this Sunday, well, the Sunday just gone, that was New England's first loss, I think, this season.
I know they've been doing really good.
Yeah, it's been all right. I mean, Tampa's doing okay as well.
Mm-hmm.
They lost their first game, but I think they're doing all right.
Yeah. I feel like Brady, like, as much as everyone hates on the Patriots, I think everyone kind of just agrees that Tom Brady is a good quarterback. As much as you hate him, he's a good quarterback.
I think it's just going to be interesting to see how well he works underneath, without Bill Belichick.
Mm-hmm.
I think those two work really well with each other. I mean, he's got Gronkowski with him now, so that's going to help him. But
I think one thing that Bill brought up about Bill Belichick having Cam Newton is that it might be a positive because Bill Burr's super into the Patriots. He grew up in Boston, and he said that he knows that he's excited because he's excited that they finally have a quarterback in like 30 to 40 years who can actually run.
True.
Because Tom Brady can't run. The guy before him couldn't run. They were definitely throwers, you know?
Yeah.
But Cam Newton is infamous for if he can't find a hole, he's just going for it, and he can make it.
For sure, man. For sure.
So I think it's going to be interesting.
Sorry, man. I think they're trying out Julian Edelman as well. I think he's trying to try his hand at like quarterback as well. So that'll be interesting to see.
I played football when I was like 13 to 14, and I was lineman for obvious reasons. And
don't be so hard on yourself.
No, I was center, right guard, and linebacker. And I was only linebacker for 2 games, and it threw a lot of people off because they're like, he shouldn't be back there. But like, I'm weirdly fast. Like, I'm not like, obviously there's billions of people faster than me, but you definitely don't expect it. And there was one time, so in the division it's a national thing, and we got to the point in our division where we went to our version of the Super Bowl, where everyone in our division from each state got to travel to Tennessee to actually play like a giant Super Bowl style bracket match. And the guys from Washington were against us. And this motherfucker who was in front of me, right? At 14 years old, you're not, and no one is above like 5'10", you know?
Yeah.
Everyone's like, you know, essentially children, young teenagers. This one kid who got in front of me was 6'2" and about 300 pounds. And I stared him down. I looked at my coach and I said, "Can we switch?" And he said, "You got it, man. Run his ass over." And so when they said hike, I threw the ball, looked up, and I got laid flat on my back. And then the coach stood me up and said, "You got it, man. Come on." And next play, hike, toss the ball back. I got thrown to the side this time. And time number 3, I was like, "I've got it. I'm going to knock you out." He didn't. I didn't knock him out. What he did was he knew I was going to go for it, so he embarrassed me. He did like the most disrespectful shit I've ever seen in my life because he knew I was going to just go for it. So he takes a step back and I face plant right into the dirt. And I just laid there and just cried. I was like, "Dude, I look like a fool."
Well, the same thing happened to me as well. When I was playing rugby, it was a tournament. I think, what was it? I was 12 years old, so I was in year 7, which I think is like 8th grade or 6th grade, one of the two for you. Yeah, we're playing a tournament. So we were up against. Say I was an under 12, and we were up against under 13s. So these people were just like 1 year older than us.
Yeah.
But there was this one guy. I think most of them, they were definitely not under 13. These guys were like 14, 15. There's this guy built like an actual freight train, and I'm the one that's marking him, and he just charges me. I'm down flat on my face. My coach is like, That's how you know. Well, now you know what it feels like to be hit by a train. I was like, yeah, you're fucking right. It will hurt so much, man.
Some of those hits, they suck. And
Yeah.
I don't know how rugby works when it comes to like their workouts and their practices off field, but if we had a bad game, like obviously we all on the team, we all knew the exercises that we had to do, but everyone collectively knew the ones that sucked the most that we didn't do all the time because it was so bad. Coach would save those for when we lost a game, and then he would torture us the next week until we got a game right. And there were the wall sits.
Well,
you know
we're just like back against the wall.
You put your back against the wall, and then you get to where your knees are at a 90-degree angle.
Yeah,
you just have to sit there.
Yeah, I know the ones.
There was the bear crawl to duck walk back to bear crawl, and you had to do it in one line. So on all like hands and feet crawling, and then when he said go, without having to stop, you had to get to where you were in like a squatted sumo position and duck walk forward, and then when he said go down, you had to get back into the bear crawl and then finish the whatever. It was awful.
That kind of reminds me of when I was like back in my musical theatre days. So every warm up before like a dance class, we'd have to do a plank. You know, where you're just on your forearms and your on your toes and stuff. I think we'd do that. It was like every week for the whole term, it'd stack up by like a minute. I think by the end of it, we had to do like a 10-minute plank, and that sucked. Have you ever done a 10-minute plank?
We were forced to, so freshman year of high school, I was joining the football team, but I had to quit because I had to get a job to pay for my car, and so for the first while, I was still working out with the guys, and there was a point where we kind of pissed the coach off, so he was like, all right, everyone do planks, and everyone was just knocking out at like 5 to 10 minutes, just as long as you could go. And my best friend, his whole family is built like monsters. Like they don't have to work out to be strong. They're those guys, you know what I mean? They're just they're built. I believe your term is hearty.
Hearty? I mean,
big boys.
Our term, if it was the 80s, yeah, sure.
I don't know, man, but they're just built different. They are, and he just said they were. He was going for like 15 minutes, and they were like, "Oh, how far can you go?" And the other kid who was also at 15 minutes, they decided to just turn it into a 1v1 to see who could last the longest. My best friend Tyler, he held his plank the longest for 43 minutes.
43?
He just sat there. He was crying, sweating. It was awful. The other guy tapped out at 43 and some change like that.
43 is still...
It's insane.
I couldn't go longer than 10.
Dude,
now I couldn't go longer than
happen.
20 seconds, but like...
To watch it happen was insane.
Yeah.
It's not some. It's just one of those things where I kind of took account of what I had, and I was just like, I'm glad he's my best friend, and I don't piss him off. I'm glad I'm on the good side right there, because this homie's built like a tank.
Bro, I couldn't. Planks.
So I've noticed with your channel and your hat, shirt, tattoos, decor, you have a lot of Pokemon.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Pokemon hat, Pokemon tattoos.
I see the Ash hat up in the corner too. I noticed that.
Yeah. That was for a Halloween costume last year, actually.
Oh, serious?
Yeah, me and my girlfriend, she went as Pikachu and I went as Ash.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. She was more of a thoughty Pikachu, and I was just like,
yeah.
I want to take it seriously, but girls.
Yeah, taking it seriously, and they just don't understand.
They don't understand.
No,
they don't
not
understand.
At all. Out of Gen 1, who's your pick?
Wasn't starter?
Let's do starter and then the whole game. Who's your starter and who's your favorite?
I think it's very generic. I got to go Charmander. Because Charmander was who I picked when I first got it at like my 5th birthday. Charmander's who I picked. But I got love for them all. That's why they're tattooed on me, I mean, if you go Gen
I
2, Gen
I
2,
definitely prefer. I prefer Squirtle personally.
Squirrel's a great guy. He's a
Mhm.
cool dude, Squirrel.
Not many people I know actually choose Bulbasaur. Let's be real.
Yeah, but then I mean, you've seen Detective Pikachu, right?
Hmm.
That film will make you a Bulbasaur fan.
Oh yeah.
They're very cute. That whole
Hmm.
scene where they're all just gathering around, like, oh,
Yeah.
I teared up. Then
But who? Oh,
oh,
sorry.
Karen.
I keep
That's
cutting
fine.
you off. I
Yeah,
feel
that's
bad.
cool. It's cool, bro. I was gonna say like Blastoise. Like, what Pokemon has a cannon on his back?
You got a point.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I think my starter is Squirtle, but my favorite has always been Psyduck, with
Mm-hmm.
a close second being Snorlax. But
Well, this is cool. I think I was always like a massive Dragonite fan, but I think I was a
Mhm.
Dragonite fan because I couldn't get a Dragonite. No matter how hard I tried, I just couldn't find a Dragonite. I don't
it
think it
was
was
the
until I
elusive
got
Pokemon.
it wasn't until I got like X and Y. I think that's when I actually finally caught a Dragonite for myself.
Okay.
So it took
With
good few years.
Do you have? Because a lot of people are obviously a lot of kids now.
Mhm.
They see Gen 1 as the equivalent to boomers.
Yeah, the
Um,
Gen Ones.
do you have a favorite outside of Gen 1?
Oh yeah, I've got loads. I've got loads. Like especially
I haven't played too many of the games. My only one that I actually love, I love this fucking dude. It's Mimikyu.
for yeah, Gen 7 Mimikyu. I love
Hmm.
that guy. When I went to New York, went to the Nintendo store, and I was like, I need to find a Mimikyu plush. They didn't have any, so instead I just bought the Pikachu New York one because I mean it's a souvenir. Cost
Yeah.
me $20 by the way, and that's a rip off for the size of it. I'll show you the hand. I've got it next to me. One sec. Like
How ripoff is $20?
it's, I mean, just for the size of it, like it must be the size of
Okay.
my head. I think it was $20.
Yeah.
Yeah, 19.99 plus tax, which is what like
Yeah.
23. I don't
That's
know.
it. It's like 21, 20 something. But
Right? Yeah.
like that's still for that size. Yeah, it's a
Oh yeah.
bit.
For a
I
souvenir.
think 15 would be better.
Hmm.
But
Hmm. I think in Gen 8, the newest one. Do you know
mhm,
Dragapult?
yes.
I love Dragapult, and the fact that he shoots little
Hmm.
baby Dragapults outside of his head. I love it. I love it.
I just think there was a obviously each generation had their weird Pokemon where you're like
Hmm.
that's a bit different, but I'm telling you after like Gen 3 they got wild.
They did. They did.
The
Like
one
Gen,
that everyone talks about is like the keys.
you got the
What's that?
keys,
Klefki?
left key. You've got Trubbish as well.
Yeah.
Bunch of trash.
Hmm.
You got the ice cream one. I can't remember what the ice cream one's name is.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. It's just a cone, and then it's a double scoop cone.
Well, you got like a cone, and then you got like a triple scoop cone,
Hmm.
and it just keeps going up. I think it goes.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it goes 1, 2, 3.
It's some weird Pokemon, man.
But then I think the argument is that like, oh, they've run out of ideas. They make rubbish and ice cream. It's like think about Gen 1. They made a salamander with fire.
Yeah. Hmm.
They made a natural bulb out of a plant.
Yeah.
Like,
Each generation had its weird ones where you're like, it's kind of
yeah,
different. I think we all just accept Gen 1 purely because it's what we all grew up with. So we're
mm,
like, yeah, that's just fact. That's just okay.
yeah. I think Gen 3. I think after that it did take a bit of a turning point. But I've got a lot of love in my heart for Gen 3. If anyone asks me
Mhm.
what's my favorite generation, I'll say Gen 3.
Which starters is Gen 3?
That's Torchic, Mudkip, and Trico.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
My pick was Torchic.
Yeah, that's who I picked. That's who I picked. But I love them all. Mudkip. Even Trico, he's not that bad. But I
Hmm.
think I think that was the first, that's the first game where there was full color, you know?
Okay. Yeah.
And then the style was just a bit different, and it just felt slightly more real. I know it's a pixel game, but it just felt slightly
Hmm.
more full.
Yeah. It just the art style was improved and there was better
Mhm.
shading, so it just looked better.
Actually, no, the one thing I remember about Gen 3, I think I was just watching maybe a trailer or a promo. I was like, there's reflections in the water. That
Hmm.
blew my mind because
Yeah.
Gen 1 and 2 didn't have that. but you could
And
actually
being able to walk by it and be like, oh, that's me.
Yeah, that's me. I'm fucking ugly. What?
I feel like the only starter choice I had that was like a difficult decision, like Gen 1, easy. I always chose. I did play with each of them, but my always go to was Squirtle. Gen 3, I picked Torchic just because the other two just weren't my thing. But correct me if I'm wrong. Gen 2 was Cyndaquil. Yeah, Cyndaquil and Totodile.
Yeah.
And Chikorita.
Yeah. Yeah.
In all honesty, all three of them are a hard choice because they're all three of them are great. But I usually ended up picking Cyndaquil just because it's so cute.
I'm saying that was my first one I picked. I mean, Totodile is adorable, and then he grows into this massive alligator. Like, come on,
he's super cool.
He's unreal. He's a great design. I mean, think about Cyndaquil, Typhlosion. He's just like a cat with his little fucking.
As much as the design as Cyndaquil grew kind of was like it could have been better, then you got to admit the names were probably the most badass.
Typhlosion,
Cyndaquil, like what the fuck?
Typhlosion. I mean, I'll be scared.
And then Totodile.
He's got fucking Fraligator, and bear in mind, Fraligator doesn't have an O. It's just like a comma R.
Yeah,
that's badass. Yeah.
What is Chikorita's final?
Oh god, you're testing me now.
It's the weird
it's like
giraffe-looking one.
Yeah, it's like Meganium or something like that.
Something.
Yeah.
The green giraffe-looking thing with a leaf.
With a flower around it.
Yeah.
I never played much as her. I'll tell you what, the first, like Generation 8, the newest one, that was the first time I ever picked a grass starter.
Serious?
Yeah, Grookey. I loved him. He had a little drum with a stick.
I think Grookey looks cool. The only reason I would never choose Sobble is because his final evolution just looks like an E-boy, and I can't. I can't take it seriously.
Yeah, like, I'm a lanky prick.
It's like one of the few Pokemon where you get to the final evolution, and you're like, this is supposed to be the best design, and then you're disappointed.
Yeah.
There's some weird... And I think it's well known, if you play Pokemon, the base... And then the final evolutions are always the best. There's very few Pokemon who have good middle evolutions.
Yeah, you're right.
There's a lot of weird ones.
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
Torchic.
Torchic?
He's just a cock and balls.
You're right, actually. Yeah, he was. He was a cock and balls.
And then he turns into like a cool like ninja-looking dude who knows like karate. Like, what's happening?
I mean, Totodile's one. Or was it Croconaw? Just a chubby crocodile.
I loved him though.
To be fair, I mean, Gen 1, they weren't bad. I mean, Bulbasaur was kind of weak. It's just the same thing, just his plant grew.
Ivysaur just looks the same.
Yeah.
Fucking Charmander's even, his just looks like an actual, like, you go from a kid, very happy and go lucky, and then the middle is just a teenager with so much angst.
Very
and
angsty
then Charizard is just an angry middle-aged man.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's a boomer. He's a gammon, as we call him over here.
Always sleeping and not wanting to do his job.
I mean, that's me now, to be fair. But
Blastoise was just chill.
Oh yeah, he was pretty cool. I just can't think of who's like a good middle ground. I don't think there is any.
But I think that's cheating because he started as middle.
Yeah, I can't think of any. Like none at all.
There's a lot of middle evolutions where you just kind of like you definitely want to grind until you get the full.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You're like, this sucks. I want a new one.
And it always took so long as well. Like to get to the first evolution, it was fine. Like level 16, you'd get there in like an hour. After that, you got to wait like 2 fucking weeks for the next one.
Dude, the thing I hate are the ones that are just 2 evolutions, and the second evolution is always like insanely OP. Like the obvious one's Magikarp.
Oh, you have Gyarados, yeah.
Magikarp sucks, but if you get the right moves on Gyarados, he's sick and can knock out most of what you need for a large majority of the game. And it's so hard to get a Gyarados because you have to splash so many little fuckers. Yeah. It's nuts.
Yeah. I think the other one is Growlithe as well. Because Growlithe evolves into Arcanine. And Arcanine's technically a pseudo-legendary, so
yeah,
he's pretty OP at the same time.
Okay, here's one.
Mm-hmm.
What's your evolution?
Ooh. So, when I got Omega Ruby, so the remake of Generation 3, I made it a point to get every single evolution. And I did do it. I got every single evolution.
Hey.
I think, like, Umbreon is just... I'm an emo at heart, and Umbreon is... You can't get any more emo than Umbreon.
Yeah.
But then Sylveon...
Wait, what's that one dude's name? Absol?
Yeah, Absol with the massive, like, scythe on its
head. Tell me that's not some, like, scene boy with the swoopy hair.
For sure. That's like, fucking, what's his name from Metal Gear Solid? Like, Raiden or whatever his name is?
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's what he looks like, but as a Pokemon. And then, yeah, I'd never liked Absol because it was Absol. There's nothing else to it. It wasn't until they made Mega Evolutions when Absol was just kind of okay.
My favorite Pokemon for... Okay, so, like, obviously, Psyduck, Snorlax are, like, my top tier. But I'm talking a close second is Scyther.
Oh, yeah.
That dude was sick.
Did you ever get Sizzle? I never got him. I always wanted a Sizzle.
It's definitely a work to get it, but at the same time, Scyther's just way cooler, man. Like,
yeah, I just like the idea of like some red crab. I mean, it's kind of a red crab,
grasshopper looking thing, whatever he is.
Yeah, just with claws.
But my evolution, I always said Flareon just because it looked cool. But Jolteon was kind of cool, you know. Like,
cool.
I really like that one.
All three of those first ones are pretty cool.
I wasn't a fan of what's the water one?
Vaporeon.
Yeah. I wasn't a big fan.
But then, I think, was it Leafeon, Glaceon? I think they were both cool. Same with, and then Sylveon. Sylveon had a lot going on.
Sylveon's the pink one.
Yeah, the fairy type one.
Yeah.
I think they could come up with so much more though. Like you've only got, was it 6? Yeah, 6 of them.
Yeah.
I think you could come up, like you got ghost types you could come up with.
There's so many combinations now just with these types.
Poison type. I think all these like darker type Pokemon would be so sick.
I also think, obviously, everyone, if you follow Pokemon, pretty much gets in the same point at one point or another, where it's like, why is this one a dragon, but this one's not a dragon type?
Like Charizard being the main one.
Yeah, like Charizard, 100% looks like a dragon.
He has wings.
A dragon.
He has wings and he can't learn fly. What's going on with that one?
Yeah, well, he's just the penguin, isn't it? It's just he's over there, just got wings, can't fly, he's just
a featherless ostrich.
He just gets angry.
Yeah.
Doesn't he fly in the show?
Yeah, he flies in the show.
What type of BS? Like
he just can't fly in the game.
That's okay.
They might have introduced it actually in like Generation 8, but I'm pretty sure.
Oh, if you get this one stone, he can finally fly.
I remember one time I was playing Generation 2, so I was 8 maybe. I was 8, and I was at my grandparents' house, and I was trying to find the fly move, HM whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I called my parents. I was like, "Mum, Dad, what is my neighbor's number?" So because I wanted my neighbor's number, so then she could tell me where fly was. Like, I don't think my grandparents had internet, so I was just like,
they had to walk over.
Hey, Caitlin, do you where do I get fly from? And then I was like 40 minutes on the call trying to find this one guy that would give it to me.
Oh, dude,
memory.
Can we talk about how the biggest ripoff in Pokemon history is Gen 1, the bike?
What with the 1 million?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then all you got to do is just save them from Team Rocket. Then you get it for free.
Yeah.
I wish I could save some.
Mad. I was so mad because I didn't know that if you just kept going, you'd get it for free. Yeah. So when I was a kid, I grinded so hard for so long. I got like, I want to say a few 100,000 coins, and I
You were,
didn't spend it on too much. I just saved.
you were saving up for 1 million like
Hmm.
poker dollars.
Yeah, and then when it happened, whenever I got the bike for free, I was shocked, and I was like, "Well, I'm buying everything now," and I I just ran through and bought everything the store had.
Oh, bro. I mean, life lessons though. You know now how to
Yeah.
budget
Hmm.
well.
I
You're-
did. I did learn how to do that, but
yeah.
dude, at the end when it was like, oh yeah, you don't, you just have like what, 100, $200,000 now, and it's like, oh, I'm buying everything. It's just, it was a nice feeling.
I bet. I bet. I mean, I wish I could like save someone's life and they'd give me like a Xbox One Series X or something like that.
Could you imagine, as much as it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, you give what you can give, and I'll accept it. I'm not expecting anything, but you go out of your way to save someone's life from being endangered and murdered essentially, and you're like, okay, here you go, and your payment is a bike.
It's an expensive bike.
It is an expensive bike, but it's like a bit of an underhanded, like, oh, thanks for saving me. Go for a ride, you fat fuck. And just you're like, okay, buddy, listen here.
Bro, I've got like a level 100 Charizard here. It can fly. It's got wings. What do you want me to do?
Charizard can sit in the basket as I go down to see Team
Oh,
Rocket
yeah.
again.
Look
Actually,
at me.
I don't know if Luke listens to the podcast, but hey, bud, Mr. James,
Yes.
are you in need of a new bicycle?
I mean, I don't know where you going with this.
Custom made, anything you want. Gorgeous.
Do I get it for free?
I'd pay for it.
All right, yeah, go for it. I'll take it,
My buddy Luke on Instagram, at Luke, no, it's Bristol Bike Builder, and he builds all bikes custom, and that's
Oh,
just what he does for a living.
Even like
So-
the metal welding and stuff like that.
I know he gets like, I haven't talked to him too much, but I know him and his buddy run a shop out of their house, and he just builds bikes, sells them, repairs bikes, all that type of thing. And there's another streamer who's from Britain.
From Britain.
Her name's Blondie.
I don't know
TV.
Blondie. No, I
She's
don't
cool.
know her. Okay, I'll check her out.
She got one of his bikes, and she says it's pretty good. And I've wanted to get one of his bikes for a long time.
I'll have to check it out. I had a bike. We sold it, I think, last year, maybe 2 years ago. So I don't really ride it. I got a car, so
Okay.
I don't need it. But at the same time, I'm kind of thinking I'd save a lot of money if I just cycle to work.
Yeah.
It'd be like a half hour bike ride, but
But at the same time, the gas alone would
yeah.
save on that.
To be fair, though, I've saved a lot of money just from COVID and not traveling all the time.
Oh yeah, I
So-
have not gotten that at all. I've gotten the
No.
opposite.
I just literally been inside the whole time.
With construction being a essential job,
Right.
I haven't been without a job since COVID started, and I'm thankful for. But at the same time, before we moved, it was an hour drive one way to get to work every morning,
Right.
and then an hour back, and every day for the past like pushing 3 years now. And then because work was expanding, they're like, hey, do you want to move 700 miles away? And I was like, yeah, sure, let's go. So now I'm in Tampa,
Oh,
and
nice.
until I move in next week, my drive to work is about 45 minutes one way.
That's all right. It's getting
So,
better.
yeah, when I move in next week, I'm going to be a 15-minute drive from work.
The way to be. That's what mine is for my job.
It's going to be so different because I'm so used to having an hour to just relax and just get ready, mentally prepared. Like, the car rides is when I listen to podcasts because it's just an hour. It's just me in the car. I get to relax, unwind, get ready for work.
I wouldn't mind that because I'm like, 10 minutes. So there's no point putting anything on. I just put on the radio.
Hmm.
But like when I drive to my girlfriend, she's a 3-hour drive away. That's when I normally put on like a podcast or a playlist and stuff like that. That's when
If
I'm
only
mostly
you knew a podcast you could listen to that comes out every Sunday.
Oh, Oh, you should probably help me find that
You know,
podcast.
I could probably look up one or
Oh yeah,
two, see if I can find a good fit.
please do. I will definitely recommend it to everyone else.
Shameless, shameless plug. Um, dude, there's actually some weird podcasts
Oh, I bet.
On Spotify. I was trying to find some new stuff, and there's always a new podcast to check out. And there's a whole section that's just called 10 or 15 minutes or less. And each episode is 15 minutes or less in length. And I found one called the Peapod.
Oh, you've got me intrigued here.
Spelled Peepod.
Oh yeah.
And each episode is less than 1 minute long. And
Right.
the title for the first one I found was POV, you're in the bathroom and the guy next to you is a bit breathy. And it's just a guy walks in and just and then you just hear zip, and then just pissing, just
Nice.
right into the toilet, and then you just hear zip, and then he leaves, and that's the whole episode.
I've got a question for you.
Yes.
It's a bit personal, I guess, but when you go to the bathroom,
Mhm.
and it's like a public bathroom, and you're just in like a cubicle, you could be having a shit or you could just be having a piss. But
Mhm.
if you hear someone else come in, do you wait for them to leave before you exit? You know, you should do your
No,
business.
I treat people in bathrooms like you treat wild animals, where you have to assert dominance. You have to stare them down and own it. So what I do is, if I'm in the bathroom and I've just taken a shit, right, and I hear someone come in, and I'm like, oh no, this might be awkward. I have to face my fears. So I don't wipe. I stand up. I leave my pants by my ankles, and I waddle out to where the thing is. I stare at him, and I just hit him with the "sup, dude." I go over. I take the water from the sink, and I just splash my cheeks. I spread, and then I put the air dryer on, and just, and then
I've got to try that.
then I leave.
Yeah, I mean at work, I think it's the best time to just when I'm at the urinal, or the urinal as you guys call it. I don't know what you guys call it over in America.
Urinal.
But urinal. Sorry, just drop trowel. You know, have the cheek and balls just hanging out.
Yeah,
Another
just up all the
employee
way to the
comes in.
ankles.
Yeah, if another employee comes in, just say hello. Nothing weird about this.
I've
if I'm
definitely
gonna
seen
sit
some
on
weird stuff in a bathroom, man.
I bet.
I was in a bathroom once. We were on a road trip, and it was a truck stop. I go in, use the bathroom, come out, and while I'm washing my hands, a dude walks out of the stall beside me, and he's eating a full leg salad with ranch in it, and he's just eating a salad. And I was like, "What are you doing?" he just left, didn't look at anybody, didn't say a word. He just walked out of the bathroom.
Bro.
Also,
I
I'm not sure how it is in the UK, but one thing a lot of people don't know, even in the US, like,
How to wash their hands after taking a shit.
well, that too,
Yeah. I've noticed that.
gas stations
Mhm.
are like horrifically dirty and awful and dangerous. Like, one of the safest places and cleanest places are truck stops.
Okay.
If you're ever going down the highway and you need gas, go find like a truck stop, because they have to be nicer, because you have truck drivers coming in off like 12-hour shifts of just driving, and they have like their bathrooms are huge, they're open, they're spacious, and they even have showers in the back. You come out and there's like restaurants inside of the actual building.
Yeah.
It's a very nice experience. And then you go to like a gas station just down the street, and it's dangerous. It's awful. There's people there, definitely have at least attempted heroin, like it's not
we've got them
fun.
over here. They're called service stations.
Service station. Oh yeah, you call it what do you what is it called? I know we call it gas. You call
petrol.
it petrol. Oh,
Petrol stations.
gross.
That's what it is. It's petroleum.
Disgusting.
But yeah, so like the truck stops is like the service stations. So you get them every 20 miles or so.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't really that far when you think about it, but the UK is quite small.
Yeah.
But we got the restaurants. You say restaurants, you got fast food. It's McDonald's.
Yeah, they'll have like they'll have like Subway, Arby's, all that type of stuff. So
Yeah.
fast food, but at the same time, it's a one stop shop. You go in, you can get clothes, you can get a cowboy hat, you can get repair parts for the truck. It's a blast.
I like service stations. I used to when I go to see my girlfriend, I'd stop at a different one every time.
Mm-hmm.
I like to compare them.
Oh wow.
Reading service station is a pretty good service station. If you're driving down the M4 in the UK, Cage, then check out Reading service station.
Definitely. Next time when I'm just I'll just hop in the car, go on down. It'll be fun.
Shout out Reading services.
Question.
Yes.
You had given me a suggestion on Twitter for the Architects' new song. What type of music are you into?
I'm like, it's generic. I listen to everything, but the first album I ever bought was Green Day, American Idiot, back in 2005, and then so I've always been a bit more of an alternative kind of guy. But I mean, just before we started this, I was listening to some UK grime and rap, stuff like that. But I love all sorts. But the pop punk, alternative metal, that's where I've been for the last 14 years. Pretty much.
It's not a phase. It's part of your life.
Yeah, Mum, shut up. It's not a phase.
I'll go through phases, like actual phases, where I'll listen to a lot of pop punk, and then I'll just switch and listen to a lot of just like sad boy music. Then I'll switch and listen to country.
All right.
But I actually do love everything, and when I say everything, I mean everything. Like, I love opera. I love Icelandic folk music. There's a band, I forgot what it was called, but I know it's in my playlist. I could find it. They're like any genre I'm into, metal, pop, rap, etc. It's just even like random country, like just I probably know the words.
The guy on YouTube is called Alex Melton. Yeah, he is mostly like pop punk, but he's got this new series where he's taking pop punk songs and turn them into country.
Okay.
So on my stream, at the end of every stream, I'll start playing his cover of Metro Station's "Shake It," but it's a country version. Goes down a treat.
There's I actually got into a phase for a while where I was looking up just bands and people based on their vocals, because I love hearing good screaming, and when you're into metal, rock, even alternative, you can tell good versus bad screams and growls. Lauren Babic,
she's insane.
Yes. Oh my god.
She's in what's that? Not Catch. Is it Catch? She's in a band with another YouTuber called Jared Alonji.
Yeah, she has a band, but I watch her YouTube channel, and dude, her covers are insane.
Yeah, she has a new one. I haven't checked it out, but I know who you're on about.
There was a stream I did where I wasn't feeling too good, and I was just like, you know what? I want to watch my waifu, and I pull up Lauren Babic, and I start listening to her cover of Toxic, and the Toxic by Britney Spears. And for the first majority, she actually has really good vocals, like high range, very nice, soothing voice. But then, right towards the end, she does like this super high, wispy, like almost a whistle tone, like ghosty, and you're like, oh, this is majestic. What's about to happen? And then she just hits like a super low growl, and then hard like chugs start happening. It turns metal.
I need to hear this.
Oh,
have you ever listened to Ginger?
Yes, Pisces.
Yeah, that's like the reaction video.
Dude, it's the perfect thing, and I show it to all my friends who don't believe that like girls can scream. And every time it starts with like, she's lip syncing. There's a dude doing that, and then I'll pull up like a live video, and they're like, "Oh shit!"
Like the live performance is like the one that all the reaction YouTubers pull up because it's insane. I even watch it now, and I'm like, "How the hell is this real?"
The studio recording they did, where it's like the high budget cameras and everything. It's such a beautiful video, even because
that's the one.
It's simple, but it's so effective of making you feel like like, oh, this is a really cool band, and then out of nowhere, she just is able to do these insane deep screams, and
Yeah,
it's nuts.
yeah, she's great. I need to listen to more of them, but
Even
that's
Flyleaf.
Ara Flyleaf. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
they've got a great misheard lyric. I can't remember what song it's
Oh,
hand. Let me just bring it up. Hang on. I know what it is.
Flyleaf misheard lyrics.
I think it's All Around Me,
Mm-hmm.
like the most popular one. No, it's not. No, it's not. My bad. It's something in the Memento Mori one. Either
Okay.
way, um, it's in the chorus, and it sounds like she says, "I put a dick within me," and it's just the funniest thing. I love it. You ever
I
listen to it?
I love misheard lyrics.
Oh, that's so.
I had one a while ago because if you do you know country at all? Country
I know a bit of
artists.
country. I don't know
There's
much, but I know some country.
there's one that blew up like years ago, and they're still around, but not as popular. Florida Georgia Line.
No, I don't know them.
Um, they had a song that blew up called like fuck, I forgot it. I know no, it got Nelly to feature in it on a remix, so it got fairly large. Um, but the lyrics, I'm talking years. I thought he was saying, um, uh, bikini, bikini top boner, like because
I've
he
been
was
there.
describing a girl popping out of the water, um, popping out the South Georgia water, bikini top boner, and I was like, why is he talking about him just getting just like he sees the girl and just going 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 going, but and we were in the car and Nathan, my little brother, is just singing along, and I just said, "Mom, I don't think we should be listening to this." And she was like, "Why?" And I said, "It has a bad. Nathan shouldn't be singing this. It's inappropriate." She was like, "What's inappropriate about that?" And I said, "It says boner," and then she says, "No, it says bikini top on her." And I was like, "Oh, that makes more sense, you know." Like
How old were you at the time?
I was like 14.
Yeah, that makes sense. You probably did think boner.
Bro, I had it. I was like, dude, you can't be saying that. Stop it. And
Oh man,
oh,
that's
you
great.
gotta love it.
The country's blowing up now. Like BTS, they did a cover of big country group.
Hmm.
I don't remember their name. It's just two guys, but yeah,
There
just
was, I'm not sure how many people actually saw it, but my mom did and definitely showed me for, I want to say it was like the 25th year anniversary of Motley Crue.
right.
A bunch of different country stars did covers of like the biggest Motley Crue songs,
Mm.
and it was really cool to see like these country artists like do covers of classic rock songs, and it was actually pretty good. Some of them were not great, but some of them were like weirdly okay.
Have you seen recently, like Miley Cyrus has been doing all these metal covers?
I have not.
It was like announced like either today or yesterday about she's reportedly got a cover album of Metallica songs coming out.
I don't doubt that she did Metallica was playing, and she was at the same event, and she walked up and started singing with them on, I want to say, um, Ride the Lightning or something,
I
something
know
different.
she's going viral on Twitter at the moment of her doing some cover.
I have to look into that.
I haven't really watched it, but I've been seeing it around everywhere. But yeah, she's got a Metallica cover album coming out.
Now,
So
do you have any plans for upcoming streams recently?
pretty much every stream that I do now, not all of them, but most of them, gets turned into a video.
Okay.
Really trying with the YouTube grind at the moment. So like, I know we had 3 streams in a row, maybe even 4, that has been turned into a video. Because
Okay.
the way I take my streams is like, it's not kind of cringe, but I would look at it as like a show. I probably
Okay.
shouldn't, but like I like to think of it as like this is like a live show. I want to entertain. I don't want anything to go wrong. If something goes wrong, I start to panic.
I feel
But
that.
I think that's just the YouTuber in me, where
Yeah.
like everything's got to be perfect. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's pretty much it. I haven't really got any big plans. Like I'm always trying to change things up, trying to innovate, just
Yeah.
trying to be above average, I guess.
Yeah. And from what I've seen, you definitely are hitting your mark on being above average, because
I appreciate
I
it.
haven't seen all of your YouTube videos, but I've seen a few, and they're very well done.
I just dropped one today, actually.
Is it the
So
Phasmophobia one?
yeah, the solo one.
Yeah, Phasmophobia Solo. Is that the title?
Yeah. So
Something
kind of
like
being a
that.
bit, being very like keyword focused.
Keyword. Yeah, you got to hit those search engines.
Yeah, everyone's all like, "Oh, this is like most insane imposter play ever," and I'm like, "Bro, no,
Hmm.
Among Us, imposter, just get those keywords down, get in that
Yeah.
search. It's the
Hmm.
way to do it at the moment."
You know, it even goes with your descriptions, even.
Yeah, I try, if you look at all my videos, look at the title and description, you will see those same words every single sentence.
You'd be surprised how many people do YouTube and they don't know that it isn't just the title. It's also
Yeah,
your tags and your description.
I think people like I've been thinking about this a lot. I've been seeing a lot of like good streamers
Hmm.
just put out videos and they don't do the research into what makes you blow up or
Hmm.
just what makes you get views. You
Yeah.
can't say, oh, like you can't put anything clickbait anymore. It's got to be searchable, especially as
Yeah.
like someone with like under 1,000 subs. You
Hmm.
gotta, you're not gonna get an audience by just
Yeah.
throwing out a video. You got to do
Classic
the what.
clickbait doesn't work anymore.
You can't put boobs in the thumbnail anymore.
Yeah, no one cares. Now what's working is the Ludwig strategy, and even that is starting to turn, where you just have, it's just a picture. There's no text on screen at
Yeah,
all. It's just an interesting thumbnail.
yeah.
And
Me and my friend have been talking about this, about how Ludwig's like title and thumbnail are just completely separate to the topic of the video.
hmm
He's like got three different things, and they just don't correlate at all. But
yeah,
he's getting views. He's having
he
pretty much a
knows what he's
successful
doing.
year. Yeah, he's insane.
Yeah, but is your, just so I don't actually mess this up, your YouTube is the same as your Twitch, all lowercase. Oh, that's so James.
Okay, so I've got two YouTubes.
Oh
I've
no.
got a main one, which is Oh That's So James, where I put on like a lot of commentary content.
Okay.
But then my Twitch highlights is Oh That's So Games.
Mm,
So we got a rhyme. We swap the J out for a G.
I've got you.
Yeah,
So I'm going to be putting both of your links in the description so anybody can go check them out. Oh, that's so James, and oh, that's so Games.
that's the one. Although that's
Gotcha.
the two. Cheers, man. Appreciate it.
Of course. Again, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. It's been a ton of fun just
It's been a
being
lot of
able to
fun.
nerd out a little bit.
Yeah, I've had a great time. It's been really easy and calm.
It's not many times you get to talk to someone in depth about your Subway order.
True, true. But now
Yeah.
I feel like we are connected
Hmm.
on a spiritual and physical level.
Yeah, I definitely feel an attraction of sorts.
First, it's the first it's the 6-inch subs. Next time it's the 6-inch cocks. It's just how it works.
You're lucky if I'm getting six. You know what I'm saying? Like, 4, take it or leave it.
I'll take
But
the
yeah,
kitty milk
but no, thank you so much for coming on. It's been a blast. I
anytime, man.
definitely go check out James's channel and his Twitch. Very funny guy and fairly consistent with your Twitch even.
I try my best. I try my best.
It's impressive to say the least.
Thank you.
The next week's episode is going to be announced on Twitter. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care. Peace.
See you guys.